Have you ever wondered what pushes someone to their absolute breaking point? We often see people in moments of crisis, maybe shouting in the street or acting in ways we don't understand, and we're quick to judge. But what if we took a moment to look deeper? What if we tried to understand the story that led them there? Today, we're going to explore the often hidden journey of what happens when a person's world unravels. Not to sensationalize, but to build empathy and understanding. Imagine a person, let's call him Alex. Growing up, Alex's life was far from a fairy tale. His home was a place of constant tension, not a sanctuary. The ground beneath his feet always felt unsteady. Instead of warmth and encouragement, his childhood was filled with harsh words and emotional neglect. He learned early on to build walls around himself, to hide his feelings and pretend everything was okay. This was his survival mechanism. He believed that if he could just be quiet enough, small enough, he wouldn't be a target. As he got older, Alex carried this invisible baggage with him. In school, he was the quiet kid in the back of the classroom. He struggled to make friends, not because he didn't want them, but because he didn't know how to trust. Every friendly gesture felt like it could be a trap. He watched other kids laugh and form bonds, feeling like he was on the outside of a window, looking in at a world he wasn't part of. This deep-seated loneliness became a constant companion, a quiet hum of sadness beneath the surface of his everyday life. He poured all his energy into being a good person, a successful person. He thought that if he could just achieve enough, get the right job, make enough money, he could finally outrun the shadows of his past. He became a perfectionist, working tirelessly, always striving for more. On the outside, he looked like he had it all together. He was responsible, reliable, the person everyone could count on, but inside, the pressure was building. Every small mistake felt like a catastrophe, confirming the negative voices from his childhood that told him he wasn't good enough. Life, as it often does, threw more challenges his way. A layoff from the job he had dedicated his life to. A relationship that ended abruptly, leaving him feeling abandoned all over again. Each event was like a crack in the dam he had so carefully constructed. The stress became overwhelming. Sleep offered no escape as his mind would race with anxieties. He started isolating himself even more, turning down calls from the few friends he had, convinced he was a burden. The world started to feel gray and muffled, as if the color and sound had been turned down. This is often the point where the mind, under immense and prolonged strain, starts to change how it perceives reality. For Alex, things began to feel unreal. He might start hearing whispers that weren't there, or seeing shadows move in the corner of his eye. His thoughts became jumbled, making it hard to follow a conversation or even complete a simple task. This wasn't a choice. It was his brain's desperate, albeit dysfunctional, way of coping with a pain that had become too much to bear. It was a system overload. This is the going crazy part that people might see from the outside. They don't see the years of silent suffering, the invisible wounds, or the relentless pressure. They just see the final, heart-wrenching breakdown. They see someone who is no longer conforming to social norms, someone who seems lost. And it's easy to label that person, to fear them, or to dismiss them. But Alex's story isn't one of a monster. It's a tragic story of a human being who was failed by his environment, who carried an impossible weight for too long, and whose mind eventually broke under the strain. Understanding this journey is crucial. It shifts our perspective from judgment to compassion. It shows us that mental health crises don't appear out of nowhere. They are the culmination of a long and painful road. People like Alex are not their illness. They are individuals who are suffering deeply and are in desperate need of help and support. The brutal past isn't just a dramatic backstory. It's the root cause. It's the collection of experiences that eroded their resilience bit by bit until there was nothing left. The most important takeaway from this is that recovery is possible, but it requires our help. It starts with recognizing the signs of struggle in ourselves and in others. It's about creating a world where it's safe to say, "I'm not okay." Let's try to see the Alex in them.